Shaq is rich. The man who signed Shaq Check is wealthy. A joke by the legendary comedian Chris Rock that forever changed my life. You see, growing up, everybody I knew wanted to be Shaq in that equation, and nobody wanted to be the person paying Shaq. And that troubled me because at that time, Shaq was making close to $25 million a year. And so I asked myself, how much is the person making who's paying Shaq? That joke ignited a spark, a dream, if you will, to redefine what it looked like to work in sports and entertainment. From that time to now, I'm grateful to say I've had the opportunity to work for 4 different professional sports teams across 3 different leagues in the Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL. I'm often asked the question, Jared, how did you accomplish your dreams? And while I wish the answer was simple, today I thought I would spend some time talking to you about the stages, steps, and lessons from my journey. So let's start with stage 1, finding your passion. Now, I know passion generally conjures up thoughts of the thing that we would do for free, but I want to redefine passion as the thing that's at the intersection of 3 questions. The first question, what am I good at? The second question, what do I enjoy doing? And the third question, how can I make a living? Because if you're good at something and you enjoy doing it, however, you can't make any money, then my friend, sadly, that thing is just a hobby. And you will quickly learn that rent or the car note are still due on the first of every month. How do you find your passion? In the beginning, you try everything, realizing that failure is not fatal, it's just feedback. And at this point, you're just looking for exposure. Exposure leads to enlightenment. And through enlightenment, you can find a thing that you're good at, you enjoy doing, and hopefully can make some money. Finding your passion will give you direction. But in stage 2, you've got to break in and master your craft. Above all else, the question I get is, Jared, how were you able to break into sports? And while I wish that answer was complex, the truth is, I made it a point to be present in every single room where opportunity could be possible, where I could interact with somebody that could potentially change my life. This meant I hopped on flights. I stayed on friends' couches. I finessed and finagled my way into events just to be in front of people that could potentially give me the opportunity that would change my life. And then once inside those rooms, I crafted my narrative, pulling out stops from my journey to align with the opportunities that I was looking for. If breaking in is the hard part, then mastering your craft is the hardest and most important part of your journey. Mastering your craft looks like getting up early, staying up late, putting in the 10,000 hours, as Malcolm Gladwell would say, to be the best at whatever it is you're aiming to do. I like to think about mastering your craft through an anecdote that was given to me by a gentleman by the name of Steve Hammond, who talked about the 3 C's to finding success on the job. The first C is competence. How many of you heard the phrase, bet on yourself? I want to posit that before you bet on yourself, you invest in yourself. Competence is the table stakes to get in the door, he said. If we hire 10 people, all 10 of them are competent. Where you start to see separation is the second C, confidence. You got to know that you know. And in this world with so many so-called experts, sometimes knowing that you know is as much, if not more powerful than knowing in the first place. If 5 only get to confidence, then he said only 2 get to this last C, which is compassion, or the ability to relate to people at a human level. I like to think of compassion by asking the question, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? In life, you will find that the right answer and the feasible solution are not always one and the same. And if you are married to being right, you can fracture a relationship that will lead to you winning the battle, but losing the war. Respectfully, I add a 4th C to Mr. Pam's list, and that C is for courage. I found that in life you never have all the information you need to make a decision at the point in time in which you need to make it. Sometimes you have a lot of the information, and others, not so much. You'll get all the information eventually, but when you need to make that leap of faith, you won't have everything you need. Courage is having the ability to make decisions in the gap between what you have and what you need and not getting stuck in a cycle of paralysis by analysis. Competence, confidence, compassion, courage, all the key ingredients towards mastering your craft. They give you the fuel you'll need for your journey. If finding your passion gives you direction and mastering your craft gives you fuel, then in stage 3, you've got to cultivate your community. Nobody gets anywhere by themselves. And so I start by delineating the difference between network and community. See, to me, network is a transactional term. Network implies if there's not immediate value between two people, there's no reason to stay connected. Network picks up the phone to call when they need something, and then doesn't call again until they need something else. Community is built on 2 pillars. Reciprocity, we give to it and we take from it. And fellowship, we engage with no intended outcome. Community picks up the phone just to see how folks are doing. And community realizes that the best way to get is to give, and the best way to give is to give without expectations. Community is powerful because community provides access, and access opens doors. If finding your passion gives you direction and mastering your craft gives you fuel, cultivating your community gives you access, then in stage 4, we get to take all the things we've learned from the first 3 stages and build our empire. Now, at this point, it really doesn't matter if you're building something for yourself or building within somebody else's dream or organization, because the most important attribute you need at this point is perseverance. You see, from the beginning of my talk to now, I gave you the ingredients that help me obtain jobs and titles that impress people when I tell them what I do. I didn't talk about the trials and tribulations. I didn't discuss the 45% pay cut I took to go work in sports. I didn't talk about taking a job to find out that I was the lowest paid person on my team, that most of my colleagues were making double what I made. I didn't talk about getting laid off from my first job after graduate school, and I damn sure didn't discuss taking a job and watching the person that hired me get demoted in 8 months and find myself fired, yes, fired, out of a job in less than a year. You see, somewhere along the way, accomplishing my dreams shifted in terms of the goal. I realized that the titles didn't matter anymore, that I was going to be most successful by the amount of impact that I made. My legacy would be defined by the number of people that I was able to help. And so today, when people ask me, Jared, what do you want to be when you grow up? The answer is simple. I want to be the person that helps you get from point A to point B in life and helps you accomplish your dreams. Thank you.